Okay, this is Ryan Stuppridge, and these are your Week 5 NFL picks. Tonight, starting off for Thursday Night Football, the Cardinals at the 49ers. Both teams are 1-3, and they're both really not playing too well this year. The big surprise, of course, is that the Arizona Cardinals haven't been playing well. They're on the road at San Francisco. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I know Carson Palmer is out with concussion protocol and whatnot, but I still think they have enough to get it done. I still think they're going to win the game, and I think they'll beat the 49ers. So I think that's a safe bet to pick the Arizona Cardinals. Moving on to Sunday's games, the Patriots at the Browns. The Browns are 0-4. Patriots get Tom Brady back. They did well without him at 3-1. This should be a pretty easy win for the Patriots. It's kind of hard to pick against them. So I'm going to go with New England. They should be able to beat the Browns pretty easily. Eagles at the Lions. This is maybe a tough matchup. The Lions are 1-3 and just lost to the Bears, and the Eagles are 3-0. They had a bye last week. Carson Wentz, as we know, has been on a roll. He hasn't really made any mistakes in these first 3 NFL games that he's played. They travel to Detroit. I think the Eagles are going to win this. I think it could be a close game for sure. If Matthew Stafford's on his game, it's always a possibility that he keeps his team in it. But I'm still going to go with the Eagles, so I think the Eagles win in Detroit. Okay, the big one with the 1-3 Bears at the 1-3 Indianapolis Colts. This is probably going to be a close game. Both teams don't have very good defenses. The Bears won last week, of course, at home against Detroit. They didn't win handedly, but they did shut down the Detroit scoring attack, so they had a pretty good defense. This is a close game. I think Andrew Luck's going to figure it out, though, and he still has some really good offensive weapons like T.Y. Hilton and others. So I think the Colts are going to win. That would put the Bears at 1-4 and really in a bad situation. So I'm going to go with the Colts. The Bears are just too beat up at this point. Okay, moving on to the Titans at the Dolphins. They're both 1-3. The Dolphins, overall have a pretty good team. At least, they should be able to beat Tennessee. But Tennessee, has hung into a couple games. I'm going to go, not necessarily upset, but I'm going to pick the Titans over the Dolphins at this point. I think the Titans can go into Miami and beat them. We know Ryan Tannehill's been struggling this year, and that team really, while they've done okay offensively, they've done nothing on defense. They have a horrible defense. I'm going with Tennessee. I think they're going to upset, if you want to call that an upset. Redskins at the Ravens. Redskins are 2-2, starting to figure things out with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. He's also the team I'm starting him this week because Russell Wilson's on a bye. That's just a little side note. The Baltimore Ravens are 3-1. They've surprised. Their offense has been pretty good. Their defense has been pretty good. They're at Baltimore. This is really a tough game. It's Battle of the Mid-Atlantic, if you want to call it that, with the Washington Redskins and Baltimore Ravens. They both play in Maryland, by the way. Landover, Maryland, and Baltimore. I'm going to go with the Redskins. I think they're going to go sort of on the road, if you want to call it that, and they're going to beat the Ravens in a close game. Kirk Cousins is going to throw, I'll say, 3 touchdowns. Hopefully I'm right, because I could really use that help. I just think the Redskins are a better team overall, and they're 2-2, but they're starting to piece it together. Texans at the Vikings. This is an exciting one. The Texans are 3-1. They were playing well early in the season, but they've lost J.J. Watt. Brock Osweiler hasn't been playing well. Their defense kept them in it last week, and they've also had an easy schedule. The Vikings, on the other hand, are 4-0 and have had a tough schedule. They went to Carolina and beat the Panthers handedly, and they also won against the Packers at home on Sunday Night Football. And they also just played on Monday night and beat the New York Giants, which is not a bad team. So this is going to be a tough one. I think the Vikings stay on track here and move to 5-0. This is going to be a battle of 2 good defenses. We know that. The offenses aren't really there. You'd probably give Houston the slight advantage in offense overall, just because Lamar Miller is pretty good. Obviously, and he hasn't really broken out yet, besides week 1. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think they're going to win here. I'd say that they'd probably win by a field goal. I think the Vikings are going to continue to cause turnovers, and I just think they'll have more than the Houston Texans. Jets at the Steelers. The Jets are 1-3 and in shambles, really, with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Horrible quarterback, by the way. I don't know why people still like him. At the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger put a killing on the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football last week. They absolutely destroyed Kansas City, which was a bit of a surprise because Kansas City was playing pretty well before that game. This is pretty easy to go with the Steelers. The Jets just haven't figured it out. And Brandon Marshall, has continued to be an issue, which he's always been. I don't like that guy. Nobody does. And Matt Forte, he's been really their only sign of life, really, in the run game, and he hasn't been able to do very well. So it's going to be a tough game, but I'm going to go with the Steelers. They should win this one pretty easily, so I guess it's not really a tough game. I'd look for Antonio Brown to single-handedly kill them, really. Okay, Falcons at the Broncos. This is a tough one. We're moving to the 3 o'clock games now. Falcons at the Broncos. The Falcons have a great offense, and we've seen that in years past with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Roddy White when he was there and everything. But the Broncos are also the other undefeated team in the NFL, along with Minnesota, and they've been playing well, and they're a very good home team. This is going to be interesting because you got a great offense with Atlanta against a great defense with Denver. So anything could happen. That probably means it's going to be more low scoring than you'd think. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Stay a little safe here and go with the Broncos at home. I think they'll be able to get it done. I would predict that Matt Ryan will have a chance for a game-winning drive and probably be intercepted or something like that by the Broncos to end the game. That's just sort of how I see it playing out. Either way, I think the Broncos are probably going to win. Bengals at the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys have been playing really well, and Dak Prescott has really showed up, and he's been really impressive. He's from Mississippi State. He wasn't highly touted or whatever. He was something like a 4th-round draft pick, and he's been playing really well, and so has Ezekiel Elliott from Ohio State. But Cincinnati, has also started to play well the last few weeks. They had a very nice Thursday night win. A.J. Green finally had it, and that's obviously a good combination. Andy Dalton loves throwing to A.J. Green, and while Andy Dalton isn't a great quarterback, he's definitely a good enough quarterback for the Bengals, and he certainly can throw to his favorite target, A.J. Green. So this is going to be a tough game. I would imagine it's going to be high scoring. I think I'm going to take the Bengals on the road. To beat the Cowboys, they'll have the same record. Then they'd both be 3-2 at that point if the Bengals won. I just think the Bengals have a better chance. And I think, while Dak Prescott has been playing well, he's no Carson Wentz in my opinion. The Bengals are going to find a way to win that game. Here's a battle of two bad teams that, of course, I can't really call the home team bad necessarily because they're 3-1, but the Buffalo Bills at the LA Rams. This one is going to be weird. And I say that because the Rams have a good defense. The Bills are supposed to have a good defense. They haven't really showed up for it. Bills are 2-2. Rams are 3-1. The Rams are at home, and they're playing the Bills, so I'm going to go with the Rams. I think they're going to continue their nice win streak. They had a great win, come from behind win against Arizona, so that was impressive. And now they play the Buffalo Bills, who have been up and down all season as they have been ever since I can remember. They're always up and down. Just when you think they're going to be good, they lose like 5 straight. So I'm going to go with the Rams. I think Jeff Fisher, surprisingly, has done a nice job this year with that defense especially. And Rex Ryan just won't have enough. And that's 2 very unlikable coaches. Okay, the last 3 o'clock, 3:25 game, if you want to call it that. Chargers at the Raiders. This one's a toss-up. The Raiders have been pretty good this year. Their offense has showed up at the end of games when it needed to. That's how they beat New Orleans. That's how they beat some other teams. The Chargers have blown a lot of fourth quarter leads, and they're at Oakland. I'm going to stick with Oakland. I just think they're a better team overall. That defense is a lot better than the Chargers' defense, which is non-existent. So I think, I think Oakland's going to win. I think the Chargers will put up points, but again, I don't think it'll be enough. The Sunday night game should be pretty good. Giants at the Packers. I'm going to go with the Packers. They're coming off a bye. Their only loss was to Minnesota. the Giants just lost to Minnesota, so they both have losses to them. I feel like the Packers are going to win a nationally televised game at Lambeau. When did they lose those games? That's the last time I can remember that they lost one of those nationally televised games was on Thanksgiving to the Bears, and that was just an anomaly, really. So I'm going to go with the Packers. Their offense is just better than the Giants, plain and simple. And the Monday night game is surprisingly not good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Carolina Panthers. We know, I guess it's not official if Cam Newton will be playing or not. If he's not playing, Tampa Bay certainly has a better chance of winning. But I'm still going to go with the Panthers. Kelvin Benjamin hopefully gets into the mix here and plays well. He hasn't really done anything since week 1, so that would help my fantasy team personally. But also, it's a pretty easy matchup. Tampa Bay's been bad. Jameis Winston has been bad. That whole team's been bad since they won the Super Bowl in 2002. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think that's a smart choice. They're both 1-3, which is interesting. So just to recap, tonight, for tonight's game, I have the Arizona Cardinals, and then I have the Patriots over the Browns, Eagles over the Lions, Colts over the Bears, Titans over the Dolphins, Redskins over the Ravens, Vikings over the Texans, Steelers over the Jets, Broncos over the Falcons, Bengals over the Cowboys, Rams over the Bills, Oakland over the Chargers, Packers over the Giants, and the Monday night game, Panthers over the Buccaneers. Those are the Week 5 picks. Thanks for listening.